Well, it's been a while since I showed you the blackberries in the containers that I'm growing and talked to you about what's going on here. They're just absolutely massive. It's kind of hard to even keep them pruned. They're just running so quick and so fast. I haven't wanted to prune them right now because I would really like to propagate them, and it's still just a little warm. I don't think they would do well propagating, but I do need to prune. This one here is about 6 feet tall, and it's not a lateral, it is a cane, so that really needs to be pruned at about 3.5 feet. But I just picked this. That is a big blackberry. That's almost 2 inches long, 1.5 inches anyway. And I've got another one right here that is even bigger than that one. Not quite ripe yet. And this is third week of October. So they're doing what I've said they do. They're kind of an everbearing. I don't look for a big what they call a fall crop, because my experience has always been with primocanes, and that's what these are. It's Primark Freedoms. It's a primocane. In case you're not keeping up, my experience with the primocane has been it produces an everbearing crop. They say a fall crop. I've found it to be an everbearing crop, even though I've got a bunch of green ones coming on. So there's some more. So pretty good little old crop. Gosh, here's another one. That's as long as the other one, not quite as fat. It's about as long as that one. That'll be ready in about 2 days. That will be ready tomorrow, probably. But well, you know, I am getting a bunch. I just saw those. So we got those and those and those. We do have more than I thought. There's some more. Those aren't very big, but it's definitely putting out some berries. And again, this is third week of October, so it's starting to, we've had some cool weather, cool mornings especially. And anyway, I'm really impressed. I mean, I can't stress upon you enough that you should try, if you want to, try container blackberry, or that you not be intimidated by or afraid of container blackberries. Probably less work, less maintenance if they're in the ground, because they get their nutrients from the ground, and they get their water from the ground. If you skip a day or two watering in the hot summer, they're going to be okay. If you skip a week, they're probably going to be okay in the hot summer. But when they're in containers, I've told somebody before, it's kind of like a toddler. When you've got containers, whether it be trees, and those are fig trees, whether it be trees or blackberries or gardening or whatever, that toddler, that infant, is dependent upon you to give it everything it needs. That little 6-month-old is not going to crawl over to the refrigerator and make herself a bottle, you know? So, and that's the same with this. If whatever it gets, unless you get rain, if you get rain, different story, because I don't have the tops of these mulched, capped with a plastic or anything. Any rain that comes goes into the tubs, which is good. But unless, if it gets any fertilizer, you have to provide it. So, there's that factor, and that is just a little bit more maintenance. Fertilizing once every 2 weeks or once every month, whatever you decide to do, is not a long chore. It's not a big deal, but it is something that you have to think about. In the ground, when mine were in the ground, I very seldom fertilized mine. I had them mulched heavily. That mulch composted down, and got did everything it needed to do. So I didn't really have to. I didn't really have to fertilize. And I didn't water very often. Only in the hot summertime would I water maybe once a week. It was a deep watering, but probably once a week for about an hour or maybe 2 hours. But anyway, you need to consider container gardening for trees, fruit trees. I've showed you my silver things there. That's where my air layering is, and I did some more. I'll show you that in another video. But container blackberries rock. I think I told you my neighbor came over here and looked at them and looked at the berries, and he took a picture of it. He'd never seen a berry that big, and I'll send him a picture of this one probably. He's out of town, but he said, well, I know one thing, I'm putting blackberries in containers next spring. So that's something he's going to grow next spring, is blackberries in containers. He was sold just by looking at my little old crop here. This is an earth box with, this is not a Primark Freedom. This is a Ouachita, and it's doing real well. I'm probably going to give it away to my brother because I just want everything to be Primark Freedoms, and no reason. This will produce a massive amount of berries next year. It's not a Primacane, and I just want to keep everything kind of uniform. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this and show you that we're getting blackberries. I'm fixing to eat the dog out of this, and but it's the things that are going on, the growth that's going on, and I fertilized these about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I can tell an exponential growth in just since I fertilized it. And it's something that I'm not doing as often. I'm not fertilizing as often as I should. So every 2 weeks is great. And I ran out of the 20-20-20 water soluble, so I'm not doing the drip fertilize anymore through the injection dripper. So that's one reason I'm having to do with just a granular. But anyway, I just want to show you the blackberries. They are looking absolutely marvelous. And I'm getting some, and as you saw, I'm fixing to get a bunch more. I have got a bunch of them coming on. And that's what we want. All right, enough about the blackberries. Get you some, grow you some. I like the Freedoms, Primark Freedoms, but grow something, all right? I think hard times are coming. You need to have something out there growing. Vegetables, fruit, grow something. All right, we're gone.